You understand what I'm saying? It's so sad for people to not realize that they are the reason that they can't get what they need. Like, that's all we're seeing. We're this whole conversation we having, you can't get community because you don't even want to be in it. Oh, we're gonna have deep conversations. I don't really want that. Sounds like you don't want to be in community. It's a very simple thing if you look at it at the base of what it is. Again, we're here for connection. You're here to just take. Sounds like you don't want to be part of this community, right? And again, we're gonna go around, try to make you comfortable. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a fuck about all that. And that is where people do miss me. People think that I'm all over here like to make you feel better. I'm not here to make you feel better. I'm here to do my job. I make people tougher here. That's what I do. I make people tougher both mentally and physically. I don't give a damn about these lines, man. Fuck your lines. I don't give a fuck about your lines. That's not what I'm here for. And again, a lot of the times people want to talk me out of what they think my stance is by showing me understanding. But that's not our conversation. That's the miss. The miss is exactly that. To misunderstand who I am is one thing. To say that you don't need what I have to give is a whole nother. Go somewhere else. Right? That's the real conversation. Look, I get in the coach's corner with just that saying right there. Right? That like the miss is that. What's going on, everybody? Coach Linda here and
Coach W.
We forgot to fucking start the intro because of this. This whole thing is ridiculous. And it's not ridiculous because I don't care. It's ridiculous because I've spent the last 2 years cultivating a space where people like anybody, any space, any person, anything can feel safe. And I didn't do that by bending to people's shit, right? And look, I'm gonna come off a little angry today because I get tired of feeling like motherfuckers question who I am. And like, look, y'all want to blur some of this stuff out, but I get tired of hearing people act like their stance matters more than mine. And they keep telling me, no, that's not what I'm doing. It's exactly what I'm watching you do it, right? The specific instance that keeps coming up. See, it's so funny that people think like when they told me who I was the very first time, and I said, that's not me. And they continued to tell me that's who I was. You're disrespectful. I don't care how that looks to you. You're disrespecting. I'm telling you, I feel disrespected. You're telling me that what you're saying isn't disrespectful.
Okay.
What?
Not the same conversation.
It's not even, you're so concerned with being right on a definition, which you're wrong, by the way. You're so concerned with being right and moving the line to be right that you don't even see that I am a human on the other side of this telling you I've been offended by what you said, right? Because they were like people said, well, why did it go from playful to real serious real quick? Because they're offensive. Because they tried to be offensive. They keep trying to be offensive. And let me tell you, I'm not that person for you. I'm not that person who's going to bend and say, whatever, it's fine. No, I know who I am. Don't come in here questioning my integrity. I'm an integral person. Look at my life. Look at yours. Who's integral? Who's walking it out? Who's walking into purpose? And not you, motherfucker. That's why you don't understand. And again, that's what you're here for. But you keep dodging that in everything you do. So fuck your understanding, right? And I say this because I hope anybody who watched this, if you don't understand this about me, you will miss the point. I will burn a bridge if it cuts down who I am. And again, in space, in person, and what we build in here, I don't need you. Right? And I think that people need to understand that I'm not here giving because I need you. I'm here giving because that's my mission, right? So I watched, again, that was the first instance was them telling me who I was. The second instance was them demanding things from us, right? And now if I say it like this, it's a clear-cut line for everybody. Demanding what we do, demanding how we accommodate them, not asking, demanding. You're demanding. Oh, well, maybe they don't feel like they're demanding. What? Doesn't even make sense. Are you making a demand or not? A demand by definition is what? We can look that motherfucker up right now. Right? And I hate when people move the line, and I'm not doing that for you. An insistent or peremptory request made as if by right, asking authoritatively or brusquely. Is that what happened?
That's pretty accurate.
That's exactly what happened, right?
That's very accurate.
They decided that they didn't like something, so they didn't ask for a change. No, they demanded it. They demanded, hey, I'm not into this, change it. First and foremost, what? Where's the respect in any of that, right? And again, the reason this keeps coming up is because people think that when they're making their change, they can challenge my ethos. But you've been here and you've seen people challenge who I am before. It never works out in their favor. See, I truly believe that I'm protected by God's will, right? So a lot of what I'm saying, it's not like I'm coming at it about my angle, which is what people keep trying to push. It's, oh, yeah, that's how you feel. No, it's what I see, right? It's not how I feel, it's what I see, right? Because it wasn't even me. The second time was with you. It wasn't with me. It was with you. I watched them do it. And I was like, and again, as a leader, I faulted you for bending to it, right? Because in other spaces, and let's be honest, white spaces, they actually demand that. They demand that you bend to the customer's always right, this, that, and the third. So that's not my motto. I don't think the customer always knows exactly what they want. I think customers come in here with requests and demands, right? Request, I'll make space for it. Demands, nah, you gotta go somewhere else with that.
And honestly, I think that's a big difference between like, this is not like a corporate commercial, come in, buy a thing, leave with the thing. Like, we're changing lives here, we're changing relationships, and because it says changing relationships as part of the ethos, part of the motto, I think realizing that that's the crux of it all. Like, if you're not able to maintain relationship or build relationship, like, that's what we're teaching here. That's the toughness you're building up. It's like relationship with yourself, relationship with others, and it kind of comes out easy when people are not good at building relationship or maintaining relationship. It's like very apparent.
Open heart. Yeah. Remember, we were talking a while ago. I said the first thing you got to do is listen. The second thing you got to do is have an open heart. An open heart.
Step two.
And then third was an open mind. But look at this communication. None of this comes from a place of wanting to understand me. It comes from a place of wanting to say who they are. So much so that there's no other space for anything else, right? And that becomes the problem that we're facing currently. 100%. We are here giving of ourselves on a daily basis to help people receive what they need because of them being here. And that is a sacrifice, right? But I don't make a big deal about me being here because people are paying to be here. We are offering a service of training, but most people think we're just training the body. No, we're training the mind and hopefully reaching you on a spiritual level. That's my whole goal. My whole goal is to change who you are, not to make your body different. See, I never opened up for that. I would never have opened up for such a small purpose. I knew what I was here for, right? Yeah. And again, most people don't get that. So then they keep trying to tell you who you are based on their understanding. But see, we've talked about this. There's knowledge and there's wisdom. I walk in wisdom. I know who I am. I've got the experience. I've been here before. You ain't my first client. You won't be my last. And a lot of the times, people will think that they know who I am. Hear me as a black man who knows exactly who I am, who has walked in who I am, who is willing to change and adapt to be the person I'm called to be. I'm watching you tell me how you don't need to change. Yet I am the one setting tone, creating space, and I'm making space for you, even though everything I've done before got me here. Again, there's no understanding there. It's all about you. And when it's all about you, it ain't never about community. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Look, I could use people, but that's not me. I don't even want to talk to people who want to be used. I don't need that. You understand what I'm saying? And like, I can't tell you the number of people that I have been close to who have broken my heart in the last 10 years, who have literally shown to be exactly what I knew them to be at the beginning, but tried to trust. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
Right? And a lot of it is interesting to watch people tell me that's not what they're doing. I'm not taking from you. You're in my face, taking from me. And I'm okay with it because I'm here for that. But at the same time, let's not mistake what's happening here. You're taking, right? If you're not giving as much as you're taking, again, based on position, absolutely fine. I'm here as a teacher. I give, you take. I give, you receive, right? When it feels like taking, it doesn't feel good to me, right? But it's when it's receiving, it feels great. And I've watched people who have received, who have taken it with humility, who have sat with it, who have reflected on it, who have asked deeper questions, I've watched them change, right? And then you have people who have no intention to change from the very beginning, show up and do exactly that. And that should have been a time I screamed at and said no, because I saw that at the beginning. You get what I'm saying? I saw the disruption you were gonna come up here with, but I know as a staff, as a space, we are strong enough to deal with a disruptor, right? Like, I've seen disruptors in other people we know literally ruin the way they do business, right? You know who I'm talking about, right? And if you don't, Jesse. I'm talking about Jesse. We've watched how that has completely destroyed their structure, right? And I don't mean like Jesse wasn't strong enough. I mean literally
The ethos created.
The ethos that they had in place did not meet this person where they were. See, we've met this person where they are. Sure, we made some missteps along the way, right? There's been some things we could have done better. But when I watch a person come in and say that they're better or that they get it better than we do, I see the miss. And I'm like, again, you think I'm here to make you comfortable, and that's not my job. I'm not here to make you comfortable. As a matter of fact, I'm literally here for the opposite.
Yeah.
And if you don't see that, then you're missing the point of being here. You want to be comfortable? There are so many other spaces that will literally make you feel exactly like that. A place that comes to mind for me is Equinox, right? It's a gym in New York City. It's a very high-end gym. The trainers are top-notch trainers, right? There's jokes about Equinox because they'll be like, in Equinox, they'll lift the weights for you and give you the gains. Like, that's
Yeah,
the type of
dead.
stuff they say that, right? Like, because it's a high, let's say, high class gym, right? The people going there can afford to go there, kind of deal. And I get that, but I don't need that.
And nor is that what you're trying to create.
Nor do I sell it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's exactly where I was gonna go. I don't need that, and nor do I sell it. Again, you are looking for a space. Just because your friends are here doesn't mean it's for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta go where your friends ain't. Sometimes what you need is different than what your friends need. I have always appreciated those who have stood in the middle. I'm looking at a poster right now, and it says, "Pressure is a privilege." You don't even see that, right? Like, this person we're talking about or has created this situation that we're discussing, not this person, but also this person at the same time, doesn't see that pressure is a privilege. You get a chance to grow. There are people out there who have no chance to grow. I used to be that. My boy quoted, he said, "Can you imagine if someone didn't apply pressure to us when we were running the streets?" I said, yeah, I'd still be there.
Wouldn't be there, or wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't be alive.
Right.
Correct. And that's part of the lesson I give. Wisdom is where we come from. We don't come from reading a book. I come from living the life. Again, they're different. And I respect that, another person's journey up to that place. And that's the miss that so many people don't tend to see. That's the mistake that most people that don't they just walk the fuck over, right? And my anger is righteous in the way I feel. I'm not mad at this person for missing the mark. I am standing on a space to where there are so many people like me who are not being seen because of people like them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a whole group of individuals out there who have so much to give and say, but they're afraid to speak. And this person is so fucking loud that most people will never hear what I'm saying because they're too busy listening to them. You get what I'm saying? And this person ain't got shit to say. Yeah, just respectfully, ain't nothing they saying worth listening to in this conversation. Maybe in other spaces and other things, sure. But in this conversation, no. Right? Because everything they keep talking about is their discomfort. Everything they keep showing up is dual in purpose and in action. Right? I'm okay, but I'm really not okay. I'm happy, but I'm pissed off. They're not drawing any lines of actual growth. See, they keep teetering. And it's funny, we have a new client who does that, and I pick at it because they do it playfully, but it is a problem. It's a problem not to make a choice because you can't stand on anything if you don't stand for anything at all.
And that's something I've heard you say, and that's something that I've been trying to implement, and I think my life's been changing based off of that.
It has. You ran into some real rough patches by saying you want one thing, and then not matching that intention with action, right? But see, this is the part where I have grown to respect you, and I have grown to stand next to you and call you brother. Is because I've watched you do it. I've watched you. I'm uncomfortable as hell, right? You've even lied and been like, yeah, I fucked that up. And I'm watching you walk it backwards. Is it comfortable?
No.
Is it easy?
No.
But here we go, telling people how to make it comfortable and easy for them. You understand what I'm saying? If I don't make it comfortable and easy, then they'll still change. It's very, very slowly at best, but probably, no, they
Probably
won't.
not, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Again, uncomfortability is a thing. Pressure is a privilege, is 100%. And you know what I'm about to do? I'm about to turn into fucking go mode. And what I'm about to do is I'm about to stop asking for help. I'm about to start locking in, and I'm gonna start talking to the people that I need to talk to, because this is proof that if you want to misunderstand, you will. Right? Like I want to be very clear about this community. They have been amazing, right? Like people have been like, nah, talk to them. I'm telling you, not it. That's not the ethos. That's not the culture. As a tribe, we don't support that. That's not who we are, right? Even newer people are still in that. Even people who are trying to be subjective to it are still saying like, nah.
Yeah.
And then my newer people, they're walking and saying, can we chat? Can we converse? Can we learn from one another? That's all I want. If you're not here for that, you're not here. That's how I feel.
This is a hard period, and I think afterwards,
Hard period.
We're gonna,
Woo!
I think afterwards we're gonna be able to see like the fruits of our labor, and it seems like it comes in seasons. I think
it does. Yeah.
Just looking around at this space right now gives it like emboldens you to like go through another hard season of whatever it is, because it's like, yo.
Agreed.
This wouldn't exist how it is. Like when I came in here, this place did not look like this. You know, like all the things that keep changing. It's not just your hard work and your dollar and your like. That's not what we're looking at here. We're looking at like a culmination of people having faith in the space. You know, people seeing what we're trying to create and getting on board. People, giving and I don't know. It makes me feel like, it is solid. It's a solid community we have, and that's part of why I wanted to create community, to be honest. I didn't realize I felt unsafe as much as I did, but in life, just going through life.
This situation reminds me of feeling unsafe.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Correct.
100%.
Like,
there's so many times I can't even, I'm gonna say this on camera, there's so many times as a black man, I grew up in the suburbs a lot of the time, you can assume by looking at me that I had not that many hardships, right? But I've felt alone, like no one had my back, no one was in my corner for most of my life, right? And that's not to say that people weren't in my corner. It's just I was looking for something different. I was looking for community that supports in a way where I don't need to constantly explain who I am, constantly reaffirm you, I am who I am, constantly talk you off of a ledge for thinking I'm someone else. Like, that shit feels super unsafe. And this is the first time I've ever felt like, yo, fuck up or not, if I fuck up or not, there's some people who see me and they're gonna be like, you know what? Yeah, that's a snapshot of the man, but I know the man, like I know what I've seen. And that, I've never had that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll protect this shit. I'm protecting this shit with it's not anything that I've had, and it's something I want to create going forward. So seeing it walked out, there's some confidence in seeing every other person around me also feel the same way about it.
I promised myself that I wouldn't color within the lines of people's indignities. Right, a long time ago. I mentioned how I would not change for individuals. I would change because of things that were said to me. I would change because my perspective was different. Those are the things that I promised that I would do. And this is one of those instances where I tried to meet you halfway and you're making me draw a clear line. And to protect what I'm building, this community, my legacy, my family, you goddamn right, I'll cut you out, right? And that's the mistake I think most people make. You think you're too important to be cut out, but you're about to be. And it's so funny watching, I've made space for them to have that journey, but if they're going to continue to do what they're doing, They will not be here long. Again, go in your echo chambers. That's your business. That's your priority. That's your prerogative. I don't have a problem with that. But don't tell me what I'm doing is wrong, especially every time you leave here, it's right. Again, it sounds like you don't know how to make a choice. And that becomes my problem. If me and you left and we disagreed, man, I'd come together as many times as it took for us to see eye to eye on some category. But every time we talk, we agree. And I don't do a lot of talking. They do. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, I see your privilege. It's cool. Oh, I'm ashamed of my privilege. Sounds like your problem. Doesn't sound like it's my problem. As a matter of fact, ironically, you're ashamed of your privilege because you see what it's afforded you. See, I don't have that privilege. I never have. Everything I built here is from the ground up. And if you think you about to come in and take the rug from under me, you are sadly mistaken, right? I'm not going to allow you to ruin what I do. I've had a lot of people try. Again, not falling for it.
Well, I think there's something to be said about like if something's not for me, I just walk away from it, right? Like that's kind of what I want to leave it at. Is like if something's really not for me, something makes me feel uncomfortable. Something's like in the past, historically, I've walked away, and maybe I've walked away from stuff I shouldn't have, but that's what I would do. Like
I've been too quick to walk away too.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why in this instance I have stayed. I've been the person who wanted support but just didn't know how to receive it.
Right.
And then had people just be like, we'll bump you then. Right. I've had that happen. This is why I've stayed in the gap in this situation for so long.
And that's why I respect, because I'm like, I think that is actually the case. What's happening is that there's confusion and there's uncomfortability.
Yeah,
but
I'm willing
also
to sit with you.
there's a bend to wanting to be here and seeing the value of it, like, or else you wouldn't keep showing up, right?
Right.
But as you show up, it's about how you show up.
Fair.
You know, if you keep showing up the same way, you're going to keep creating rift. You're going to create the same exact thing that you are uncomfortable about. You know, like you're uncomfortable about it being this way, a perceived action or a perceived way that it might feel to you. And thusly, when you come in space, you're like bracing for that. And
so much so that nobody can show you different.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's the whole we can't change your mind because you're so set. That again, that's your business.
That's fine, yeah.
But don't expect us to continue to pursue you that way. You get what I'm saying? I've made space. I'm open to community, but the conversation has continued for almost a week now, right? Like let's say 10 days. If I want to look at from the beginning, this has been a month. Right? This has been a month that this same person has continued to do the same thing and do it the same way, and it hasn't worked for them yet. There comes a point where I have to draw the hard line, and that's what's coming. Now, I don't want them to not get what they need. I want them to get exactly what they need, but sometimes part of that is loving something and letting it go, right? Pruning that tree, right? This don't make no sense. I can't keep supporting this. You're literally a bad apple that could ruin the bunch. That's when I got to let you go. And I'm watching you try. You get what I'm saying? So in that case, we got to do what we got to do for this community. And I appreciate you saying you stand and protect this community, because I don't think for a while I saw how many people, like the blessing here is I didn't see how many people truly cared about this community the way I do, right? Like, I hear things and people move kind of scared, and I know I come across as a boding presence, but the first person to really work to see me in this space, I'm gonna say the very first person to work to see me in this space has to be between you and Amy. You were the first two people, right? I think Amy saw me quicker, but I think you worked before she did. I just think we have a lot of similarities, right? And it's funny, there's another person that you always talk about, we have similarities, and the closer we get, the more I realize, no, right? But I see what you see. You get what I mean? So it's so interesting seeing that. What I really have come to admire is this person's willingness to sit with the uncomfort. I admire that. It's literally what I'm doing for so many people, right? So to see it in another human being, absolutely amazing. Absolutely. So it's this thing to, like, I created this space for other people, but also there is a part of my healing in it as well.
Oh yeah.
And realizing that has helped me see people. And again, I'm thankful to this person's disruption. I am, because I wouldn't have seen.
You know what?
That's other ones before it.
God damn it.
right?
That's beautiful to hear, because like I think that's a big part of relationship is like you don't know how long or why someone came into your life, why the universe put you in contact with a person. And a lot of times it's to help you grow. It's not just to help you feel comfortable with that person in relationship. Sometimes it's to be challenged.
Yeah, I think every relationship is that.
Well, yeah.
I don't think any relationship is not supposed to serve that. It may not,
Yes.
but I think every relationship is to serve that
supposed to,
purpose.
yeah.
Yes, to help you grow. It could be an affirmation. It could be a disruption. I don't know, but I can say for sure that the relationships you have should make you better.
Affirmations or disruptions, they're both necessary.
Right.
Right.
100%. I'm not who I want to be. Disruption. I am who I am, and it's working really well here. Affirmation. Like, that makes sense. It's the same reason why, like, I hate affirmations and the way they're used, especially in capitalist society, but I also enjoy watching people truly use affirmations to be better people, right? Just because we're trying to use it for something else doesn't mean that it still doesn't have its purpose.
Weapons and tools.
Right. Fair. Very fair. And I have learned to appreciate the things in between. It's just nothing feels worse than having who you are called into question.
Yeah.
Especially when you keep showing up in a way that is so detrimental to yourself. Like, I got a lot of shit going on. I got a lot of cards juggling. I got a lot of things happening. It's only gonna get more. And I'm not shying away from this, right? But there was a point in me that I knew there was gonna be that friction because we come from different places and spaces. But we're not here to be disruptive. It's just happening, right? And in those spaces, we have a chance to understand one another. That's what I'm grateful for. Shout out to Kay, shout out to Mr. Vogler, shout out to Ray Ray, shout out to the other men in this space who have come from different backgrounds, not only seen me in that, shout out to you, shit. I mean, you here, so I didn't think to say you, but shout out to anybody in my life, any male presence in my life who has challenged me. Shout out to Sarah Rutherford, because even though she is feminine, she shows up in a way that has enough balance that I can work and learn from. Like, we sat down, we had a conversation. I was watching, I think I spoke on this before. I had Amy and Sarah at a table talking to me, and Sarah's like, yeah, but that's not right because of this, or maybe you're missing it from this, and maybe there's ignorance there, and maybe there's like she's talking through it with me, and he's like quiet, just watching, right? I needed the pushback. Because I was definitely upset. I'm tired of this motherfucker. Like, keeping it a buck. Like, I'm tired. I'm not tired of this person. I'm tired of this motherfucking situation.
Yeah.
Right. And when I say I'm tired of this motherfucker, I'm tired of this motherfucking situation, not the person. Person is not. I don't have no grudge against. But at the same time, if you keep showing up as a disrupt, I'm gonna see you as a disruption. Right? It's the miss. And yes, I don't have all the fancy wordings and labels and all the other stuff that other people do. But the problem is, when you become so concerned with those, the truth becomes secondary. The truth is primary for me. Always has been.
With the language,
always will be.
people get caught up on the language and stuff, and that's how you don't see people.
The actual point of the conversation that they're having. I'm not having a I'm against you or for you conversation. I'm having a this is gonna get you where you want to go. This ain't, right?
And I think what's beautiful about you is that I don't know how you do it, but I think that's how you hear people. You always hear the truth underneath what they're saying, no matter how they're saying it.
Layers, practice, and patience.
And I feel like I'm pretty good at it, but I'm definitely not not at the same level. There's times I find misunderstanding in people's words, but that is how I look at language. I'm like, language is the vehicle for truth, right? Like, if you can't listen to someone because they speak a certain way, like, you got to work on your listening skills.
100%.
To be real.
Yeah, I just recently had to have that conversation with my wife, right? I've been married for 20 years, and yet, our life is changing again, and we have decided, even in the great place we are, to seek counseling, right? Like, a lot of it has to do with the fact that we know what children have done to us before, and we want to be prepared for how that's going to affect our relationship. I somewhat have to prepare for my wife to not be here, right? Because there's a risk at having a child at this age. Like, there's a part of me that understands that I may have to provide everything, that she may not ever be able to work again. Like, there's a thing of lack, and again, a lot of people would look at that as a twisted thing, right? Like, preparing for the worst. Most people would look at that and say that's negative, and I'm like, it's not negative to be prepared for the worst. I'm not saying the worst is going to happen. I'm just simply prepared for the worst. So in a lot of conversations, my mind goes to the end of what they're saying, and then I have to walk myself back to the conversation we're having. And I believe that's what it is to look at everything connected, right? Like there's a deeper part of the conversation I do want to end soon. But like that's the part that makes it so I can do what I do. I am letting myself be guided through through what people are saying to the truth that's being presented to both of us. And then I'm walking it back so I can have a conversation with you, right? Let's say someone is insecure, right? Every word they use will say a word around insecure, right? And again, I'm insecure. I'm insecure is not what they're saying. They're saying, you know, most people don't understand me, or, you know, I always make jokes like that, even though it's depressing. Like they'll say stuff like that, and a lot of that comes from a space of fear or insecurity. I'm hearing it. Is it fear? Is it confidence? Is it positive? Is it negative? And then that's what allows me to see the thing. The hardest part after is not just interpreting where that might be coming from. It's helping them to walk themselves to what's being said, right? And that is a skill. A lot of conversations, if you will, help me develop that skill. So again, I want to end before we get too deep into it, because we could keep going. But at the same time, you know, if you like our stuff, share it, please. A lot of people need to hear. They have deep thoughts and want to hear more on like truths that they can relate to, and they want to connect with people. And I think our next couple, we're gonna like focus on different lessons and connection to see if we can help people foster connections in their lives. And again, what have we learned? We're two black men who come from two different paths, and we have learned to respect that about one another, which is why we have a lot of conversation. The reason I can be how I am with you is because you've realized that I speak from a place of love. I mean, Jada got it immediately, which is really, really funny. And a lot of that has to do with that fact. Again, where's it coming from? So I think people hearing your interpretation, my interpretation, will be good for them in the long run as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Facts.
You can check us out at www.gettingitdaily.com, or you can check us out on social media. We're going to make sure we start including the links in our business and our stuff. So please make sure if you have any questions or you wanted to comment on the video, reach out. We're excited. Talk soon.
Yeah. Peace.